Welcome to the Laser Channel. My name is Greg, your host in this episode. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at the Xtool D1 10-watt laser and experiment on some different things to see if it can cut through them. And we're not talking about conventional wood and paper products. We're going to take a look at some of these different products that we have in here, like some chocolate chip cookies, some miniature playing cards, and a number of other things in here. So I'm going to learn if it can cut through this or not. Join me and you can learn too, and together we'll grow in knowledge. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that I'm not paid or endorsed or sponsored by Xtool to test any of these products out during the making of this video. With that out of the way, let's start with this hardcover book that we found at the Dollar Tree. Let's go ahead and go for your dreams. This hardcover book measures about 1/4 of an inch thick. So let's get it chucked up and let's get started. And if you're wondering, these are what the hold downs look like that I'm using on my honeycomb. The software that we're using for today's testing is LaserBox Basic, just because it works really well. Here's our first settings that we're going to try out. 100% power at 5 millimeters per second, 5 passes. I am running an exhaust fan and the air assist. Focused has been set. Let's see what this does. First test complete, let's check it out. Quite a bit of scorching going through, but we're cutting pretty deep. About halfway through the book now. And we just started cutting through to the back. Let's take one more shot at that again. This time, let's try for a circle right here, a nice 1-inch circle. Back in LaserBox, let's go ahead and make that 1-inch circle. Actually, it's going to be 25 millimeters. 25, let's do that 100%. Well, let's switch over to cut, 100% at 5 millimeters. Let's do 10 passes on that. Turn our fan and a pump on. Move our start point to the center. Goggles on, and let's go. Looks like our slug in the center is starting to get into the way. What do we have here? I think the slug kind of got in the way here, so I'm thinking it's not going to cut all the way through. And I would be wrong. Made it all the way through. If you'd like a book slightly used, a little bit scorched, let me know in the comments below. I'll get that sent out to you. And for this next test, let's try out a milk chocolate candy bar from a manufacturer some of us might know. And I'll use a couple props from the last video that we made on my first laser thing. Go ahead and check that out. Nice, easy step-by-step on cutting out and engraving your first project. I'm not sure where that little bite mark came from. Again, 100% power, 5 millimeters per second. We'll start with 5 passes. Let's go. Look at that, 2 passes and we're through. I did not expect that to cut chocolate in just 2 passes. Let's move that out of the way. Who knew learning could be so delicious? Get some of that chocolate dabbed up. That looks good. A week from now I'll be wondering when I'm cutting some wood why it smells like a chocolate candy bar. So let's step it up a little bit and try these Uno mini playing cards. The official playing deck here. Never been opened before. Oh, look at that. They really are mini ones. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything else, but this brings back a lot of memories. So I think on this one, to keep all the cards together so that they don't fan out when we cut like the book, I'm going to tape up the top and bottom so it stays a nice solid brick. I'll be back in just a second. All taped up and ready to go. So this measures in at 0.6 inches. That's pretty thick. I'm not sure we're going to be able to make it all the way through on this one. Looks like we have just enough height in the laser that we do not need to use the leg extensions. And we're finished. That's 15 passes. I think that's all we can do on this one. Turn the fan off. Let's take a look at this. I think we're just reaching the cut depth where the laser's just not focused enough to really cut through any material. Let's get some of this tape off. So if you ever wanted to cut a deck, here's a laser way to do that. So this first connected piece, it's cut about halfway through. So we said when we started out, this deck was 0.6 inches thick, and now we are about 0.4 inches. So we went through 0.2 inches of this deck, which I think is still pretty good for a 10-watt laser diode. So kudos to Xtool on their technology. Again, I'm not sponsored. So next up we have Toastums, not to be confused with the other brand. The producer said I can't say the other pop word as a part of these morning breakfast snacks. I think it's more of a breakfast candy bar. I don't know that this is really a breakfast. Looks good. Let's go ahead and start. I think this might cut all the way through in 5 passes. What do you think? Comment down below. I don't know, we're cutting a lot of sugar on the laser today. The air kind of smells like diabetes a little bit. And I can't tell if that cut all the way through. Should we do the wiggle test? Oh, looks like it's one solid unit left. Now that I moved it, I may as well pick it up. Oh, the ends were starting to cut through a little bit. Second attempt. Oh, it looks like it's sagged down. I think we might be cutting all the way through. We'll let this finish out. Next up are pencil erasers. Let's play a little game. Guess what color I end up picking out. Comment down below. Here's a close-up of those, and If you picked blue, I'll say you did not win. Apparently, trying to cut through blue things with a blue laser diode does not work very well. So let's do this very scientifically. Jumble those all up, and we'll pick out yellow. On this one, I set the focus about 1 to 2 millimeters into the eraser. We'll see if that allows us to cut just a little bit deeper. For a second, I thought that was glowing yet. It's just the laser crosshair that's down in our cut curve. Let's go ahead and run that same thing one more time. I'm going to leave that exhaust fan on for just a little bit, let it clear out any of that smoke. I'm going to go with that's probably not too healthy to breathe in. Or we're going to start cutting again. That is very interesting. It's doing stuff I did not tell it to do. So we just exited the software and we're still cutting, so that is really weird. Hey Vicky, what's going on with my laser? We're gonna turn that off. I exited out of the software and I kept running, so in theory it shouldn't have had a program unless it was stored on the SD card within the Xtool itself. Let's get these goggles off. I think what happened in this one is all the char from the eraser plugged up and it just couldn't cut any deeper, even with the air assist on. But I think I can kind of break that in half. No, that's still pretty strong. I'm bending that over. So the eraser wins this round. If you know what that fluke was where the laser started running, it was not commanded to go. I even shut down the LaserBox software and it still continued to run. If you've seen that or know what that is, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe some other people will read that and they can glimpse some information from you. We have one final contestant. We have tasty chocolate chip cookies. Let's see if we can cut through a cookie. This kind of smells like when I first learned to cook. A little bit burnt, a little bit charred. I can see on the honeycomb we're getting a little flicker of laser coming through. That kind of tells me that we in fact are already cutting through, and I think we're only on our second pass. So I think in this one we're going to be successful again. Moment of truth. Let's go ahead and give that exhaust fan just a minute to keep up. That one had a lot of smoke coming off of that. There must be a little bit of sugar in these cookies. Look at that. It did put a ring through it. It did cut through. I think some of the chocolate kind of held it in place. Yeah, I can see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but at 12 o'clock on this piece right where my finger is, I can see there's some shiny chocolate. So there we go. You can cut a cookie out with an Xtool D1 10-watt laser. How cool is that? And we've got one bonus material that we're going to try cutting through today at Wimpy, Wisconsin if we didn't have some cheese. So again, not sponsored, but Here's some Happy Farms by Aldi, Kobe Jack. And let's get this one going because I want to cut this while it's actually still chilled. I just grabbed this from the refrigerator. More time. I think this has it in one pass. Let's go ahead and cancel that out. I think what's going to happen is the cheese melted. Oh, it didn't go all the way through. I messed up our experiment. That kind of cut it out. I think we can save that. This time we really are going to let it do all 5 passes. Well, let's go. Okay, we're all set here. Let's take a look. Survey says, oh, look at that. That actually did cut through it quite nicely. It did warm it up. I'm going to move this back and forth in the light. Maybe you'll see some glimpses of the oil that's around the outside of from the cheese. Well, that was really fun and pretty informative. I hope that you learned something. I know I did. Quick recap. Hardcover book, about 1/4 inch thick. Yep, we were actually able to cut through that. That was pretty neat. Chocolate chip cookie. That we were actually able to cut through. And the cheese, we were able to cut through a single slice of cheese. That worked pretty neat. And I think my favorite was the candy bar. It cut through that. That really didn't surprise me too much. Now the deck of cards, we weren't able to cut through that, and that looked like it only cut down so deep, and then the laser was just out of focus too much. And it didn't matter if we added more and more passes. That was all the further the laser was going to cut through. Same thing with the laser. I think we had a lot of char buildup in that cut line, and that laser, it just couldn't see the bottom of that cut line anymore to remove any more new material. And surprisingly, this toastum, it cut through the breading, but the jelly filling in the middle, it would not cut through that. Still smells like burnt cardboard and some of my cooking. If you liked today's video, please give it a like and leave a comment down below. That's one of the biggest things that you can do as a viewer to help this channel grow. It also helps others find this channel by the algorithms that YouTube does when people leave comments and like the channel. Until next time, have fun, be safe, and be creative. Thank you.